Okay guys, I think the recording has started. So, let's begin. Hello everyone watching this video. Today we are going to discuss an important topic for us university students. Which mode of learning is more effective, which is face-to-face learning or online learning. So we will talk about the advantages and disadvantages of both sides, share our experiences, and try to find an agreement at the end. So let me introduce ourselves first. So you guys know my name? Okay, so my name is HAKIMI bin ZABANI, and you guys can call me Luqman. And I'm from Med 3 BPI SMP 2526. And I'm currently live in Alustalaga. And my main number is I forget. Wait, P2508033327. So I'm done with my introduce. So how about you guys?
Okay, let me briefly introduce myself. So my name is Hidayah bin Zainuddin, and you guys can call me Hidayah or Hidayah. And I am from Batam, London, and I am from Mathematic 3 same class like you guys. And my matrix number is P2508033301. How about you?
Okay, since both of you have already introduced yourself, now it's my turn. My name is MOHAMMAD binti ROZAIN, but both of you can call me Nia. I'm also from Med 3 class, and let's make us a classmate. I'm from Kuala Kelantan, and my matric number is P250992. But I think for this discussion, I would like to be a secondary student for Hidayah. Yeah.
Let me think about it. I want to be. I think you guys think what I'm doing.
You like business, right?
Oh, yeah, business. I think I want to be a business student. How about you, Luqman?
What do you guys think of?
I think about science, something.
Maybe computer science?
Oh, I know, yes.
Okay. Let's proceed. So thanks guys. So to start off the discussion, from my experience, I prefer face-to-face learning. I feel that going to a real classroom helps me focus much better. When I sit in a lecture hall, I can talk to the lecturer directly and ask questions immediately if I don't understand something. So Daya, what do you think about that?
That's a good point, but in my opinion, online learning is actually more effective. I love the flexibility with online classes. You don't need to waste time traveling to campus every day. You can just open your laptop at home and start studying. So for me, it saves a lot of time and energy, right?
Yeah. I see both of you. I see what you both mean. I think I actually agree with both of you. On one hand, face-to-face learning gives us a structured environment, which is great. On the other hand, online learning gives us freedom. And personally, I have a balanced view, which is I believe both methods have a strong advantages and also disadvantages, and it really depends on the situation.
Luqman, just now you mentioned that you can ask questions immediately in a physical classroom, but what about large classes? You mentioned we are in large classes in a big classroom hall with 150 students. Do you really get the chance to speak to the lecturer, or do you just sit and listen passively to the lecturer?
That's true. In a English lecture hall, it can be quite difficult to raise your hand and ask a question. But even then, I think being physically present makes a difference. You can always approach the lecturer after the class ends, or you can discuss difficult topics with the classmate sitting right next to you. In an online class, when the video call ends, everyone just disappears. You are suddenly alone in your room.
Alone?
Alone.
I can understand that, but okay, from my experience, online learning doesn't mean you are completely alone. But you alone, what do you mean? For example, in our online courses, we use discussion boards and you know WhatsApp apps. Okay, we have WhatsApp groups. So we talk to each other all the time. Plus, a huge advantage of online learning is that you can watch record the lectures. So if the lecture speaks too fast, you can actually pause the video, and you can take notes and replay it. Don't you think that is helpful for studying?
Yes, that sounds really helpful, Hidayah. But let me share some idea for you. If you can watch the video anytime you want, don't you think students will be lazy? I mean, from a psychological perspective, human beings easily get distracted. If there is no fixed schedule, many students will say, "Oh, I will watch the lecture tomorrow," and then they keep delaying it until the next arrives, the exam arrives.
Yeah. I partly agree with that. You guys know self-discipline?
Yes.
Self-discipline is definitely a challenge in online learning. If you don't manage your time well, you will fall behind. But I think university is the perfect place to learn responsibility. So online classes force us to develop good time management skills, which we will need to when we start working in the future, right? Yeah.
That might be true for some students. Yeah. But what about the social aspect? For me, university life is not just about getting good grades. It is also about making friends, joining clubs, and learning how to work with different people. When you study online from your bedroom all day, it feels lonely.
Lonely again.
Yeah, I think it can be bad for our mental health.
That's an interesting point about loneliness, Lukman. From your experience, did this feeling of loneliness affect your actual grades during the online semester? Or was it just a bad feeling that you had to deal with it?
I think it affects both of my mood and my grades because I feel isolated. My motivation dropped. It was hard to care about assignments when I didn't feel connected to my classmates. When we study together on campus, we motivate each other. If I see you guys studying hard in the library, it makes me want to study hard too.
I see your point, Lukman, but in my opinion, digital socializing can be just as good. For instance, I can say that my marketing group mates and I meet on Discord every week. So we don't just talk about assignments, which you guys do, which is about our life, share fun videos, and play online games. You guys play it too, right? Mobile Legends, such as
Yes, I play Roblox.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting game.
Yeah.
So I don't feel lonely at all. Even though we are studying online, I think it just depends on how active you are on the internet, right?
I think that's a really great example there. So it's like introvert might enter the online space more because they feel comfortable communicating with the screen.
Yeah.
But for extrovert student like Lukman,
Oh, really?
yeah,
You guys probably
he need a real human energy to feel alive. What do you think about that, Lukman?
Because you are right, yeah. I definitely need that real world energy. But let's look at another point, which is practical learning. Since I study computer science, we have lab sessions where we need to network and work with physical computer hardware. Doing that through an online simulation software is just not the same. You need to touch the equipment and see how things connect in real life.
I completely agree with you on that, Lukman. To elaborate further. In psychology major, you have to learn how to console people and read their body language.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It is incredibly difficult to practice over a webcam because the video can be lag, you can see the person full posture. Some things can be learned properly when you are in the same.
Yes, I agree that that's practical work must be done face to face. However, what about regular lectures? Let me give you an example. Last semester, I had class at 8 a.m. on a rainy Monday. I had to wake up at 6 a.m. and I get stuck in terrible traffic jam for an hour. And I pay for expensive parking. And I walk to the lecture hall, only to listen to the lecturer read directly from a PowerPoint slide for 2 hours. And I felt so tired and frustrated. So if that class was online, I could have listened to it clearly from home without spending money on petrol or getting wet in the rain.
I understand your frustration there, and I think we have all experienced that. But let me ask you a question. Don't you think the problem in your example is actually the lecturer's teaching style and not the mode of learning? A boring lecturer is going to be boring whether they are standing in front of you or talking through a laptop screen. In fact, isn't it easier to lose focus and sleep during an online class if the topic is boring?
That's a fair point. Never mind. It is definitely very easy to turn off your camera and fall asleep or scroll through social media during an online lecture. Yeah, you are studying psychology. Do you have any tips on how students stay focused during online classes when there are so many distractions at home?
That's a tough point. In my opinion, the best way to create dedicated study space at home that you don't study on your bed because your brain will think that it's time to sleep. You need to sit properly on your desk. Put your foot on another room and tell your family member not to disturb you during class hour. But it's true, it requires a lot of willpower. But guys, we also need to talk about another major issue, which is the digital divide. We are lucky because we have fast Wi-Fi and a good laptops. But what about students who live in rural area or come from a low-income family? Online learning can be very unfair for them.
Yes, yeah, I'm really glad you mentioned that. To elaborate on your point, during our first year, one of my group members lived in a small village. Every time it rained heavily, his internet connection would drop completely. During our group project presentations, his screen froze, and we had to present his part for him. It wasn't his fault at all, but it caused him a lot of stress. Face-to-face learning is much better because once you are on campus, every student uses the same university internet, the same computer. Yeah, it's Wi-Fi, right? And the same computers and the same library.
That's a very serious problem. I feel sorry for the students who face internet issues. But on the other hand, let's look at the financial benefits of online learning. Let's say you're renting a room near the university campus is very expensive. Food on campus is also
Very expensive.
Yeah. So for some students, being able to live at home with their parents while studying online is the only they can afford to go to the university. If they had to go to the city for face-to-face classes, their parents will have to spend a huge amount of money. So online learning actually made education cheaper and more accessible for poor families, I guess.
That's a good point, Hidayah. It definitely saves a lot of money. But let me challenge you for a moment. Is a student home always a good place to study? Some students have a noisy families or they have to share a room with 3 siblings. For them, going to campus is like an escape. The university library gives them a quiet, peaceful space to focus. Don't you think separately your home life and study life is important for your brain?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. When I am at home, my brain is too relaxed. I see my bed, I see the TV, I see my phone, and I just want to chill out. But when I step onto the university campus, my mind automatically switches to study mode. I see other students reading books, and it pushes me to work harder. The physical environment will change how we behave.
I understand that feeling you bring, but I think we can train ourselves to be more productive anywhere. Also, we shouldn't forget about non-traditional students. For example, some people work full-time jobs and want to get a degree at night. So I think face-to-face learning is impossible for them. Online learning allows them to keep working and study whenever they have free time, right?
That's true for working adults. But since we are full-time students, let me ask you this. Daya, don't you think you are missing out on the full university experience, like sport days, physical club activities, and spontaneous cafeteria chats? Are not we losing something precious by the university to just a series of website clicks?
Oh my god, that's a lot of question and a deep question. I guess you do lose some of that traditional campus fun. But from my experience, you can find other opportunities online. For example, I joined an online international community for marketing students. So I met friends from different countries, which wouldn't happen if I only stayed on our physical campus. So you lose local activities, but you gain global connections, right?
Yeah. Let me stop you for a second. You guys are arguing as if you have to choose only one mode and completely throw away the other. Why does it have to be binary choice? Is it the real solution to use both? From Diet Choice, she said that online classes give us a high flexibility, save money on a learning. While LUKMAN said that face-to-face is easy to focus and great for social life. However, the biggest disadvantages for both of them, the online said that it was easy to feel lonely, need to find self-discipline, internet problem, and face-to-face because it expensive to travel and rent, fixed schedule, and tiring company. However, we know that online classes is really suitable for theoretical subjects, working student, and independent study. However, face-to-face class is really best for practical labs, discussion, and networking.
That's a very clear summary. To elaborate on your point about using both, let's look at group projects. Last semester, my group tried to brainstorm ideas entirely on Zoom. It was so slow and awkward because people kept muting and unmuting themselves. So we decided to meet up in person at the campus cafe. In just 2 hours, we drew everything on a piece of paper and finished the plan. But after that, we went back home and wrote the code separately using online tools. It worked perfectly.
Actually, that's an excellent example. It proves that face-to-face is best for sharing ideas and also playing together, while online is best for working quietly on your own power without distraction. Okay, yeah. From a psychology perspective, why do you think it feels smoother to brainstorm in person compared to doing it over video call?
I think it's because of body language and timing. In person, there's no delay. If I see you open your mouth, I know that you want to speak. So naturally, I stop talking. It creates a smooth flow. However, on Zoom, because of tiny internet delays, people often talk at the same time by accident. And they say, "Oh, sorry, you go first." And then there is an awkward silence that kills the creative flow.
Yes, that's a very smart observation, yeah. Now, let's discuss exams. This is a major issue for universities. During online exams, a lot of students cheat by looking up answers on their phones or sharing answers in hidden group chats.
See?
Yes. And I think universities had to use great software to watch students' eyes through webcams, which felt uncomfortable and invasive. In physical exam halls, everything is fair and properly controlled.
That's a good one. In my opinion, if an exam can be cheated easily by using Google, then it's bad exam. It means the exam is only testing memorization and not real understanding. So online learning has forced lecturers to prepare the assessment, like open book exams and case study, where you have to apply your knowledge to solve real world problems. In a real job, your boss will never tell you, "Hey, don't look at the internet to solve this problem." So, online lessons can be more practical, yeah.
I partly agree with that. But let me challenge your idea. While open book exams are good for business or marketing, there are some basic things that professionals must memorize. Imagine a doctor or an engineer who has to Google basic information while performing surgery or building a bridge because they never memorized it during their online university exams. That would be dangerous, right? During traditional exam, make sure we actually remember important facts.
This is a really great debate. LUKMAN is worried about losing core knowledge, while Hidayah practical problem solving skills. From my point of view, both of you are right. You need to remember basic facts, but you also need to know how to use them. To elaborate on this, the type of test should match the subject. For example, testing a student's ability to identify parts of human brain is probably best done through a closed book in person quiz. But testing a student ability to analyze a complex business case study, I think it is much better suited for an online open book assignment.
Listening to all these points, I guess choosing only one learning mode is not realistic anymore. So we are in 2026, you guys know, and technology is everywhere. So the future of education should be 100% online or 100 face-to-face. It has to be a mix of both, right?
Yes, I agree with you, Hidayah. A hybrid model sounds like the best path forward. But how do we organize it? What do you think is the best way to balance the two methods?
In my opinion, all standard theoretical lectures should be recorded and uploaded online. Students can watch them at home at their own pace. Then we should only come to campus for interactive activities like group discussions and present like this and presentation days, question Q&A, like you guys know, Q&A and question and answer sessions and practical labs. So this way we don't waste time traveling to just listen to a lecture as
or the flipped classroom. But let me challenge the scheduling of it. If a student lives far away from campus, will they be happy to travel for an hour just to attend a single 45-minute discussion session, if everything else is online? If university want to use a hybrid model, they must plan the timetable very carefully so that campus stay are fully utilized and meaningful.
That's an incredibly practical point. Yeah. Last semester, I had to come to campus on what day? I think Friday, just for 1 hour tutorial, and it felt like not a waste of petrol and time. It actually made me dislike face-to-face learning that way. The university management needs to be very organized with hybrid status.
Exactly. And to elaborate further, the university needs to change the physical spaces too. Since we don't need massive lecture halls online as much anymore, university should convert those luxury to comfortable, which is attached learning group discussion spaces like this one, and so students can study and collaborate easily when they are on campus. Thinking about how we actually interact in class, I want to bring up student participation and confidence. So LUKMAN, you said you love face-to-face classes, but don't you think physical classroom can be really scary for quiet and shy students? So in an online class, someone who is afraid of public speaking can just type their brilliant ideas into the chat box without feeling judged. So online tools actually give quiet students a voice. What do you think?
From my perspective, that's a good point, man. I see how the chat box helps shy people participate, but from my experience, hiding behind a screen doesn't help you build a real confidence. If you always use a chat box, you never practice speaking up when you feel nervous. In a physical classroom, yes, it's scary at first, but when you finally raise your hand and answer a question correctly, your self-esteem grows so much more. Facing your fears in person is how you actually build confidence.
This is a really interesting psychological points. Saya see the online chat box as a safe space that increases participation. While LUKMAN see the physical classroom as a place for personal growth. Daya, from your experience in digital marketing, do you feel that typing in the chat box actually translate into real confidence, or does it just keep people inside their comfort zone?
I think it holds a different kind of confidence. Yeah. To elaborate in my online marketing classes, typing our thoughts first allows us to organize our arguments clearly. So once shy students sees that the lecturer and peers agree with their text, they will feel encouraged to take on the microphone and speak during the next session. So the digital space actually acts as stepping stones rather than just places to fight, I guess.
Speaking of professional growth, you study psychology, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's look at communication skills development. In the workplace, we need to negotiate, read a room, and handle difficult conversation. Do you think online learning prepares us for those professionals in interpersonal dynamics as well as face-to-face learning does?
That's a really complex issue. In my opinion, I prefer us for a different kind of workplace. the modern corporates world is full of remote work, global Zoom meetings, and printed emails. Online learning teach us how to every day. Online learning teach us how to communicate clearly through text and video calls, which is a major professional skill now. However, I agree that it lacked the training for deep empathy, reading micro expression, and handling face-to-face tension. So it really depends on what kind of workplace you are preparing for.
But wait, let's look at how the future workplace actually operates. Okay, almost every big company use tools like, you guys know Slack,
Yeah.
you guys know Microsoft Teams, and we also use project management software because we study online, so we are already experts in managing digital tasks and communicating professionally through text. And traditional classroom don't teach you how to run a virtual meeting, which is exactly what employers are looking for right now in 2026.
I partly agree with that. Digital literacy is important, but let's not forget that human business is still built on trust. You cannot build a deep professional relationship just by sending Slack message. Going to a physical interview, shaking hands, and having a casual chat over coffee before a meeting starts, those are the things that you get hired or promoted. Face-to-face learning models those real-life professional interactions perfectly.
Speaking of daily life, I think we should discuss something that affect our bodies, like skin temperature and physical health. From my own experience, sitting in front of a laptop for 8 hours a day causes my back pain terribly. Yeah. And also it causes my eyes. Yeah. So, do you find that physical health and overall learning motivation are better when you have to physically move around the campus?
Firstly, to elaborate, walking between lecture halls, taking the stairs, and even just walking to the campus. Walking to the campus cafeteria gives you natural breaks throughout the day. It gets your blood flowing, which actually helps your brain stay awake and motivate. When I am stuck in my room all the day long, just doing online class, my body feels heavy. I get headache from the screen, and my learning motivation drops to zero because my environment never changes.
I understand this effect, but isn't that a personal lifestyle choice rather than call of online learning? For example, during my online days, I bought a laptop stand and I sure to go for 15 minutes jog around my neighborhood between lectures. So online learning gives you the freedom to design a healthy schedule. I can say that in a physical university, you are forced to sit in uncomfortable chairs like this, in cold lecture hall for hours without a proper break. That can be just bad for your back.
That's a fair point, Daya. But from a behavior perspective, most students don't have your self-control to go for a jog between classes. The physical campus naturally force healthy movement into us, whereas online learning require us to create it ourselves. Without the external push, a lot of students end up with very unhealthy and sedentary lifestyle. With the
dialects. What
This is
dialects?
dyslexia.
Oh,
Dyslexia. Okay, now, from a psychological and inclusive education viewpoint, which learning mode do you think supports these students better?
This is an excellent question, Daya. From what I have studied before, online learning can be a massive blessing for students with physical disability because navigating an old campus with style and heavy door can be exhausting or impossible for them. Also, for a student with certain learning difference, being able to turn on a live caption during an online video lecture or use text-to-speech software at home helps them to process information much better than sitting in a fast-paced physical classroom.
I see your point, yeah. And it's a great that technology can help. But let me challenge the other side of that. What about students with neurodivergent needs who actually needs face-to-face assistance? On campus, we have a dedicated disability support office where tutors can sit down with you in person and guide you through assignments. Yes, guide you through assignments. In an online environment, a student who is struggling might just feel overwhelmed by all the digital files and drop out because they can't get that warm, human, and so on and so forth.
I think that is true. Human support is actually vital, but I think university are adapting. So now, you guys know about many campus of virtual one-on-one specialist support. So a student doesn't have to travel all the way to campus when they are feeling well, so they can get the exact same guidance safely from their home. I still believe that the digital space removes more physical barriers than it creates.
Let's talk more about group discussions. Let's talk more about group assignments by a different angle, which is cultural exchange and diverse viewpoint. In our university, we have many international students. Daya, from your experience, do you think group assignments, collaboration, and cultural exchange work well online when people come from completely different cultural backgrounds?
Oh yes, absolutely. In fact, I think it works better online. Like my experience last semester, I was in a marketing group with students from 3 different countries. Yeah. Okay. Because we work online, we use translation tools and share digital reports that show marketing trends from our respective home countries. Actually, it was so amazing, and the digital environment acted as a neutral space where everyone felt very equal. And sometimes in a physical classroom, international students tend to sit together in tight groups and don't mix with local students because of language barriers. I guess it's
Yes,
language
barriers.
barriers.
That sounds like a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Daya, let me give you advocate here. When you work with people from different time zones or cultural communication styles online, miscommunications can happen so easily. A message that sounds perfectly normal to you might read as rude or aggressive to someone else via text. In person, you can see their facial expressions, hear the tone of voice, and clear up a misunderstanding just in 5 seconds. Just smile.
Really?
Yes. Do you think online group work risks creating unnecessary conflict?
I think you both made a really fantastic point here. Daya show how the internet can bring diverse
very long time, right?
Oh my god.
So I think we have covered a lot of important points today, right?
Yeah.
So we have discussed flexibility,
Loneliness,
Practical skills.
practical skills,
travel
travel
costs.
costs, internet issues,
Yeah.
and
And some style.
exercise. And as we reach the end of our discussions, let's summarize our final decision.
Sure. I think in my opinion, neither mode is completely better than the other. The effectiveness depends on the subject itself, the student discipline, and also how the lecturer design their course.
Yes, I concur. Why I very love online learning. I fully admit that face-to-face interaction is necessary for certain tasks and fields. So our final consensus is that a well-planned hybrid learning mode is the most effective approach for university students, right?
Well said, guys. I start these discussions from supporting face-to-face class. But Daniel, your points about financial savings and better online exams really made me change my mind.
Thanks to you.
And yeah, your points about psychology help us to see the middle ground. We all agree that online learning is best for theory and flexibility, while face-to-face learning is best for practice, collaboration, and community building.
Absolutely. Combining the strength of both worlds will give us the best university experience.
And let's bring our group discussion to the end. So thank you very much to our lecturer for watching our video, and
We hope this discussion was useful. Goodbye everyone.
Goodbye.